do this.
Welcome back, family. We're here at Team Ohana. I'm Rich. We're going to be covering the cover price top 20 because it's the top 10 plus top 10 and then honorable mentions. 20 books. We're going to look at them all. For the hot list for today, April 22nd, 2024. Am I hyper? Absolutely. Just watched the Deadpool 3 trailer. Got the video, uploaded it. Sorry if the sound goes up and down. It's just that I knew with Madonna's Like a Prayer, if I didn't go up and down and interrupt that, it was going to get copyright struck. That's the reason for that. Which, by the way, I had to go through the video like up, down, go a little further, up, down. So anyway, let's check in with everybody here. We got Robert Monroe saying, good evening, and Richard, my fellow coconuts. Good evening to you too. New Deadpool Wolverine trailer drops today. Reaction? Absolutely, it's up. And I replied to you saying, I'm working on it now, trying to pass the copyright gods, and it made it. Meanwhile, number one saying, good evening, all. Good evening to you, sir. And Sigmund saying that he loved the Deadpool Wolverine trailer reaction. Oh, cool. I will say this. Man, that is not a trailer you're going to find on general TV. Hello, Jason. How's it going, buddy? All right. So, like I said, we're going to be looking at the top 20 books that are on the CovrPrice top 20 list. The hot list for today, April 22nd, 2024. Just want to make sure everybody understands this is not CovrPrice saying these are the best books to buy. They're going by ours, what they get automatically is data from different outlets of sales, quantities, and prices increasing. Dealers telling them what's going up and everything else. So if you think that a book is crazy for being on this list, we got nobody to blame but ourselves. Believe me, there's a couple books on here that meet that criteria. And by the time we get to the top of this list, Larry better be here because it's his fault. I'm just saying that right now. All right. All right, let's jump right into the book number 20 on the list. We have one that was here last week as well, and understandable with X-Men 97. We have X-Men Annual number 14, the first true full first appearance of Gambit. It does not have the same gravitas as the X-Men 266 because Gambit is really prominently on the cover there. But honestly, this really is true first appearance. We've got 9.9. It's sold in 2021. I haven't seen it since for 10,000. You know what? I think that's kind of crazy, but it is a square-bound book, so it's kind of tough to get. Maybe it's the only one. I think that guy is probably regretting spending that money, though. 9.8 has gone down a little bit, 175. 9.6 has gone up a little bit, $90. Considering the price difference is not double, I think the better value on that is to go for the 9.8. 9.8 is probably being held low because of that 9.9 out there, and who knows when CGC is going to give more out there. More 9.9s. 25 Perez TTM is joining the chat. How's it going, buddy? Welcome. This book is already, it's actually trending slightly upward, and I don't want to give anything away in the X-Men 97, but if you saw it, you know. If you haven't seen it, you will find out when you watch it. It's definitely worth it. I mean, it's really good. And Larry has showed up. Yes, he just jumped in, and if he watches on the replay, I said it. You better show up because the top of this list is all your fault. Welcome to the show, Larry. Called you out, man. I called you out. All right, so I think that right now is still probably not the best time to get this book. I would wait until after in between season 1 and 2, when it gets out of popularity, it drops down a little bit. But if you really just feel like I gotta have it, I don't think 175 is a terrible price for that. And that is what it just sold for on Sunday, yesterday. $90 is what a 9.6 sold for yesterday. I don't think those are terrible prices. I mean, bear in mind, this is a 34-year-old book. Yes, we're getting old. Number 19 on the list, we have first appearance of Cable. Liefeld. You got to watch that trailer. So we have first full appearance of Cable, 1987 New Mutants, and let's see what the prices have been going for. $210. That's just sold for $210 in a 9.6, $485 for a 9.8. Ooh. I don't know. Well, I mean, it was 282, and then now it's selling for 210 for a 9.6. I look, I know a lot of people love Cable, but I never really had an attachment to him personally. Um, could he be something major in the MCU going forward? I don't know. It would be funny if Josh Brolin also played him, but um, I think that right now it's still all the hype from X Men '97. I'd wait on it. It's a good book to have, but uh, speaking of books that are hype right now, first appearance of Deadpool, New Mutants number 98. We have 1,400 is how much a 9.8 just sold for. I'm assuming that's going to be a direct sale. That's just sold yesterday. 422 for a 9.6. That is quite a drop. And 9.4 sold for 450. So this shows you you've really got to be frugal with these things. Somebody actually paid $30 less for a 9.6 than somebody paid for a 9.4, and $3 less than somebody paid for a 9.2. So don't get into a bidding war on something. There's a lot of these books out there. It's very, very heavily graded book. There's thousands, if not tens of thousands of these on the census. And you know that after this Deadpool number 3 leaves the theaters and the hype dies down a little bit, that this book will settle. I'm not going to say it's going to plummet, but it's going to settle a bit in price. Once it's out of the hype, I would wait on this. I don't have one, and I'm waiting for a good price on that. I'm going to shop for that. We got Tito the Alien joining us. What's up? Don't abduct us. All right, so 2019-18, number 17 on the list. I don't understand this one at all. This is one from last week. Penthouse Comics number 2, polybagged version. By the way, I didn't pick it up, but I do have a regular polybagged, not a 1 in 25. I see a raw sale went on Sunday for $13. The highest known sale, or the most common sale at 27. Somebody back in March pre-ordered this and paid 100. 100 for a Penthouse number 2 and 1 in 25. It's already showing down 10%. Maybe it's a great cover, but apparently this 1 in 25 is not selling as much as Tula Lotte, as much as stores would have hoped in advance. But you may want to see if you can find one for $15 or so. Remember, if it's a 1 in 25 and it's polybagged, I feel you. I got a number of books that I overpaid for too. I mean, if you see a store selling one of these for 10, $15, just the fact that it's on the hot list is going to drive its price up a little bit. But I think by next week, this one will be off the hot list. 16, we've got Wolverine number 1, the Frank Miller run from 1982. They're showing a direct sale version here. It's the first solo Wolverine title. I don't consider it the first solo title because it's a limited series. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And the first cameo of Yukio. 9.8 sold early this year for 15.6. Highest known value of that was 23.5 a year ago. So wow, in 11 months it went from 23.5 to 15.6. Again, yikes. If I had $23,000, I would not be buying this in a 9.9. I would be looking at a nice quality. Oh my God, 23.5. You're getting a 2.0 Amazing Fantasy 15, maybe even a 3.0, depending upon how it presents. I would much rather have. I'd rather have that 10 days, 10 days out of the week. It's only 7, so yeah. 9.8 sold for $640 yesterday, and 9.6 sold for $249 a couple days ago. And it looks like after that you wind up in the traffic jam. 199, 200, 160. So anything 9 or above, you're going to be commanding a decent grade. I think mine's a 9 too. So that's, or maybe a 9.4. I don't even remember anymore. I've got an idea, by the way, for a new way of displaying comics, which we'll be able to show many more. I'm working on something for the shows, which I'm going to try to make sure I can translate to here. Knock on wood. Okay. Um, this book, again, anything Wolverine, Deadpool related is all hyped because of the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So just hold off on it, guys. Next on the list, we've got Ultimate Spider-Man #1, still hanging around from January to now. We have raw sales still holding in the 85 to 86 range for high grade. And I see, though, a 9.8 just sold yesterday for 175. It's creeping downwards. But I think those raw sales at 85, 86 are really going to keep holding that 9.8 up high. I still think this is going to settle down a bit more. I think it's going to eventually come down to around the 130, 140 range after the ultimate run is done, which, by the way, a final order cutter for this week was Ultimates #1. So they're taking all these individual stories and they're coming together. So we ain't done yet. And there are a lot of different not facsimiles, variants of this. A lot, a lot. So this was not a super surprise, in my opinion. I mean, I pre-ordered 2 of these and gave one away at a new comic book day. It's starting to it's almost at a point where you're going to start looking for your 9.8 if you want one, though. So just keep your eyes open. You may see auctions sneak through at those lower prices. Right now, I'd be targeting 150, 155 with the idea of flipping it before it dove down more. But if you really want one, like I said, in your collection, just be patient. 14. We have Secret Wars #8. Why are the screens all over the place? Because I try to read them beforehand so I know somewhat what I'm talking about. We have the origin of the alien symbiote that becomes Spider-Man's black suit and later Venom. This book is after Spider-Man 252 and Marvel Team Up Spider-Man Daredevil. But let me see, 9.8s now. A 9.9 sold for 10,800, but there is a 10 out there. Hmm. I wonder if that 10, which was sold in 2019, is a CGC. I don't know. I really don't. The 9.9, though, selling for earlier this month for 10,800, but a 9.8 for 442. There's my precious. So Jason is the one that owns the 10.0. 9.8. This is a great book. Again, they do have a newsstand variant of it. This is also one of the most homaged books. Not the most, but it's up there. It's in the conversation. 9.6 is for 233. I think mine's like a 9.4 newsstand, which I'm okay with. I just wanted to have a decent quality copy of one. Just oh, that's right. I remember when you got that. So you didn't sell it. You kept it because you were just wondering if yeah. Cool. Jason's got the newsstand on that. Let's take a quick peek, shall we? 9.8, 1,200 was the last sale. Cool. And yes, I think ASM 300 is up there, but I mean, there's a lot of different books that are. You've got the what do you call it? What was it? Hulk 340 with the 3 claws. You've got TMNT #1. You've got Action Comics #1. Amazing Fantasy 15. That swinging pose is very highly homaged. There's a lot of them out there. It's one of 3 slabs I have now. Well, we got to change that. I think there's been a few rumors coming around that the 4th Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, named to be determined, will have something to do with him being in the black suit slash Venom. And there's been, even if that is true, that you're still at least what, a year and a half away from it. Kenneth, welcome to the show. How you doing today, sir? So when other things get hotter, this will become less of an attention grab. But it never dives down terribly in price. So if you want one, keep your eyes open for a good buy. I wouldn't be going for the 9.9, obviously. I'd love to have a 9.8, and 442 is not terrible. It's terrible considering what my bank account looks like right now, so I'm not buying it. But the anything, no, 9.2 just sold for 153. That's not bad either. This is still a great book to have. And I can't say any of them is terrible to have. Okay, next on the list. Now, this one I think is another great buy. But for the reasons why it's on the hot list, it's not a great buy. But overall, it's not a terrible one either. X-Men 117 is the first appearance of the Shadow King. The Shadow King was shown in the X-Men animated series, the first 5 seasons. Xavier fought the Shadow King in a flashback. I believe he was talking. Jean helped him to defeat him, and I don't want to. I think the only reason that it's on here is because in episode 6, he is referred to. Okay, that's the only spoiler I'm going to just say. He's referred to. They mention him. You don't see him. There's no understanding that he's going to be coming, in the future. They just mention him, and as a result, boom, you got something pops up here. So we've got 9.8 selling for $504, but a 9.6 for $139. I'll take that 139 any day of the week over a $504 9.8. Not one grade bump is not worth it. Now, do I think it's worth going out and getting the first appearance of Shadow King? No, not at this time. But X-Men were just really building popularity during this time. This is when I started getting into comics. So I can tell you what the market was like at that time. I got in around 164, 165. And all my friends were like, hey man, have you been reading X-Men? It's really good. And word of mouth, everybody started talking about it. So in the 150s, late 140s, 150s, the audience really started to grow for X-Men. The amount of people talking about it, reading it, loving it, just grew exponentially because of word of mouth. And as a result, they started saying, oh, I got to get the earlier issues. So older issues from 94 to like 140, it didn't matter who was in it or what was in it or who, or any, it shot up in price. And they have always held value because there have been a lot of X-Men readers. I mean, people like me, I'd never had this book. I would love to add it to my collection because I know it's one that I always wanted back then. I never got it. That being said, once you hit the 160s, 170s, and more people are buying them, stores are ordering more, the print runs were going higher. So there's that nice 94 to 145. Right about the Doom episode, the Doom cover issue. That was a great one. I would grab that at a 139, 9.6. That to me is worth it. Even a $61 9.2. I'm skipping the 9.4 because the last sale of that was 6 months ago. So yeah, 9.4 would probably be about 100. Looking at that in that range, 90. 1979 book, 45-year-old X-Men book. Yeah, I would do that. I wouldn't get the 9.8 though. Just me personally. Moving to the next one on the list, we have X-Men 212. First battle of Wolverine and Sabretooth. Always on the list every time Wolverine or Sabretooth or something happens that brings them into the news headlines. And thanks to some leaked footage, I believe they have a battle between Wolverine and Sabretooth in the movie. It'll probably last 3 seconds and everybody will be like, wow, that was everything that was leaked, huh? Okay. So 9.8 just sold a couple of weeks ago for $300. 9.6 sold for $65. Okay. I like to have that book in my collection, not for almost 5 times price. I'll take the $65.96 any day of the week, and it would free me up money to make sure that I had issue number 213, which has got a better cover in my opinion. This has this is part two of the fight between Wolverine and Sabretooth. Psylocke joins the X-Men, and it is the first cameo appearance of Mr. Sinister. So I think 213 is a better fight, a better book in my opinion. And that one in a 9.6 is 185, so it's twice the price. So instead of a 9.8 for $300, I'll buy 9.6s of this and the next one and have money left over in my pocket. Okay, rounding out the top, coming in at number 11, finishing out the honorable mentions, we have Spider-Woman, number 6 from last week, the Ricky Yagawa 1 in 25. Now, honestly, I don't think I like the cover that much. I mean, is she hanging on the side of a building and going to the bathroom? I don't get it. Anyways, a 1 in 25 issue. Highest known value on the 16th was $50. The last sale, $38, so it's already dropped. As JP's Budget Collecting would say, if it has not hit triple ratio, it's probably not going to hold. I think one of the biggest problems with this is that I don't think most stores ordered 25 copies of Spider-Woman number 6 because they're probably not going to sell them. And as a result, the print run on the 1 in 25 is going to be pretty low. Now, if that was a banger cover, I'd say yeah, but meh, meh. Yeah. All right, so we're going to take a break real quick. Our little break in between the number 11 and then before we hit the top 10, so we can say thank you to all the people who support the channel on Patreon and YouTube members. We have our get together this Saturday evening for our Patreon members, and I want to see if I can make sure I can send the link to our YouTube member as well, so we can all get together in Skype and just hang out for a little while and discuss what you guys would like the channel to be in the future, or just talk comics. I mean, I don't want to be the only one rambling all the time. In the meantime, though, I want to say thank you and just hang on. We'll be right back. We're back hitting the top 10. And this is a book that during the comments last week, during I don't remember who it was. Somebody mentioned, why isn't this book on the hot list? They were surprised that it wasn't here. Well, there must have been a little bit of a delay, but it finally made it. Coming in at the top 10, Spawn, number 1. And this is obviously being driven by the Rat City hype in the Spawnverse. But we got a 9.8 just sold on Saturday for 170, which for a Spawn 1 is doing pretty good. 9.6 is at 70, and of course 9.9 did sell in March for 3,700, which means it lost 62% of its value from 2021. I can't imagine. I don't care how much money I have. I'm not spending $10,000 on a 9.9 of a modern book when I could use that to get golden age books, books that have a proven history. I mean, I'm sure somebody's out there and he's got the one and only copy, and more power to him. I'm glad. Hector Ortiz, all hail Spawn number 1. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, weren't you the one that said last week, how come he is on the list? But in any event, though, we've got the Rat City, which is bringing out all the Spawnovites. And this book is a roller coaster. It goes up and down, up and down. Whenever something's in the news, it bumps it up. Then the other things dies down a little bit. The tricky part is trying to figure out where its home is now. It used to be about 120, but inflation is changing everything. So I'm thinking 150, which is its fair market value, is its home. 170 is a little on the high side. I think it'll probably come back down to 150 in a couple weeks. Probably a couple of months. But this is one of those ones that you put on your permanent radar. And I thought so. I knew somebody did. I was just couldn't remember. Then I saw your chat, your message, and just clicked. This is one of those ones you just try to keep an eye out. If you go to a show, or if you're looking at and find something on Instagram or even eBay, don't forget to count those shipping charges. It's part of the price. If it's 150 and $30 shipping, you just paid 180. So I would keep an eye out for it. I don't know. I don't think I'd be paying 170 just yet. Coming in number 9. This one, what? Who? Somebody help me with this one. X-Men Deadly Genesis, first appearance of Vulcan, also known as Gabriel Summers, identity unknown and face hidden in the shadows. Okay. So I don't know if this character is in the new comic book run or not. I see Summers. I'm assuming it's Scott's daughter. I haven't heard any news about this person in the movie, Deadpool, Wolverine, the X-Men movie. I don't know if she's in the comics. I don't know. I have not been reading the new X-Men runs. If anybody knows who this character is, fantastic. 2006. The problem I have with this is if this is the first appearance of a character that does turn out to be major. Think about Mary Jane Watson. Her first just tease the arrival of Vulcan, the biggest a-hole in Marvel mutant history. Well, thank you, Larry. I didn't catch that part. I did see it, but I didn't catch that. If Vulcan does turn out to be a major thing, do you want the identity unknown, face hidden in the shadows? Is that the book that you want? I think of Mary Jane Watson. Title, not my words. There are several issues in the Amazing Spider-Man and the Silver Age that have like her silhouette or her foot or whatever, but it's issue number 49. 41 is first appearance of Rhino. I think it's second cover that had Rhino on it is known as the first full appearance of Mary Jane Watson. Venom. You see a small shadow. Issue 298 and 299 both have leading up little backgrounds of Venom. But what is Venom's his first full appearance? That's the money book. So if this character that I don't think will go anywhere because this thing came out in 2006 and nobody cared about this character for the last 18 years, why now? If this character it does turn into something major and everybody wants it, are they gonna legitimately go for the one that where the identity is unknown and the face hidden in the shadows, or when it's the actual first appearance of the character, which I don't know when it is, but anyway, people paying 160 on Sunday for 9.8 from market value of 134, 9.6, $50. High grade raws selling a little bit above average here for $15 also on see the 18th would have been Thursday. So as soon as they watched the episode, they ran out and bought this comic book. I'm sorry. I know how much they printed, overprinted, whatever you want to say, the Casada runs and everything else that from 2006. I wouldn't be interested in it. Next up on the list, we have Miss Marvel. Speaking of, don't run out there and buy a book just because one character appeared in a cartoon. The Miss Marvel 30-cent cover, first appearance of Deathbird. Now, at least this character does actually appear and appears on the cover as well. And seeing the cover just really makes me appreciate how well they drew her and kept her true in the animated series, just like they did with Ronin. Sorry. Anyway, dang it. A lot of pollen in the air lately. All right, so there is a 35-cent issue on this, and it came out just about the same time, maybe a couple of months after the Star Wars 35 cent. I don't see any sales really of the 35 cents, so I can't give you anything to go by on that. But a 9.8 of this sold for $305 just last week. A 9.6 just sold for uh, $95. Now, I looked at the sales of the 9.8s. There's only been 2 sales of this book in the last 12 months. So I don't, in a 9.8. I don't think this is, it's Lilandra's sister. I get it. There's other characters in the same time frame that are not, that don't sell as high, that are more important in today's modern age. And I don't think that Deathbird is going to play a huge, huge part after season 1 of X-Men 97. She may have some more to do with X-Men 97 season 1, but I don't think she's going to have a huge part after season 1. So, if you really want to put this in your collection, I'd wait until after season 1, maybe even find out that she's not in season 2 and this book should come down. So, we've got 10, 9, 8. Number 7 on the list, we have X-Men Adventures number 1, which is now on its way to Florida. Because that was the book that was given away 1 week ago today for the 1,250 subscriber video giveaway to the live stream audience. The first prize itself was the first appearance of Jubilee in X-Men 244 in a 9.6. Well, this one got sent out. It got sent out today. So just letting you know that. So we have 9.6 now, creeping up in price. Now it's up to 74. And 9.8 is selling for, has dropped a little bit in price at 175. 9.4 at 45. I think that this character, Jubilee, is going to be around for quite a while. Oh, why am I saying Jubilee? I'm still got 244 on the brain. Okay. This is the first appearance of Morph. Morph looks like he's really going to be around for the long haul. And a lot of people like his character in the show. So unless they had some kind of a grand sacrifice, I think that this book may have legs. I even wouldn't mind going for a 175 9.8 on that. Maybe I should. Highest known value in 2022 sold for 487. So 175 really is a bargain. I think this might be something to look into. And I've got 2 raw copies. I got to see if I want to get one graded again because now I don't have any slabs of it. Okay, so we have number 6 here, Wonder Woman. Number 8 from last week, the 1 in 25, Joshua Swaby, Joshua SS, whatever. Up 15%. We've got somebody paid for a raw $70. That is the most recent sale. Okay. It's a decent looking cover. It really is. I kind of like the shadowing on that, the shading, and the veins in the arms. It's got some good definition to it. There's a couple of things about it I don't like, but overall, it's nice artwork. It's simple and elegant. But how many stores bought 25 copies of Wonder Woman to sell? Probably more than the Penthouse. I don't know. I don't have any love for any of the ratio variants these days. Blah. But you talk about the artwork. I mean, there's been worse. Anything by Adams lately has been. Geez, I'd take this over an Adams book lately. Maybe the Hulk one was okay, but not the Snowbird. I personally, I think that all ratios fall in value. I don't even think the hot ones uh, hold any kind of value these days. So I'm going to recommend against it. Breaking into the top five, we got The Last Ronin, cover A. It's funny. It says trend is down slightly. Um, it's because the news broke. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, this book is hot!" And now they're going through their boxes and putting them up for sale. 9.9, and you can get one. There's a bunch. Sold for $600 the other day. That's not bad. 9.8, 130. 9.6, 150. See what? Yeah. If you want a 9.6, it's going to cost you extra money. But the fair market value of a 9.8 is 275, and somebody just bought one for 130. There are so many different variants on this. Come on, show. Say, 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 say. So if somebody puts in slightly the wrong description in their eBay listing, it may sell for the correct amount at for its title, but then when the cover price computer pulls all the information in, it thinks that it was a cover A. Now, just a little reminder for everybody that the 1,500 subscriber giveaway, when we get there, when we get to 1,500 subscribers, we're going to be giving away to the winner a director's cut of The Last Ronin #1 to read, and a never opened copy of Last Ronin #1 to never open. So this way you can read it and have it and have your money at the same time. That's going to be the 1,500 subscriber giveaway when we get there. And we're going to do another live stream giveaway, same as we did for this one. And the live stream winner for that one is going to take home Hulk 102 in one of the comic capsule holders. This is the one that I put the book in and tossed it in the air during our video. So looking forward to 1,500 and sending those out to you guys. I think that this book is probably going to hold its raw value, which is right about 120. And I think 9.8s may drop a little bit, probably about to 240. And I think a lot of people are going to start sending these out because now we've got an option news or a movie news. And I don't think they actually said it's going to be The Last Ronin, but they gave the details of the live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie that's going to be coming out. And it's this. Okay. So we're still 2 years away from it at least. So watch for those buys. Coming in number 4, X-Men 114, first appearance of Cassandra Nova. And we got a little more of her in the trailer. And got to actually hear her say, I think, a word or two. 9.8, 160, 9.6, 80. This is a book that right now you want to sell. Because I don't see this villain making it out of Deadpool 3. And at that point, any value that this book has, which 9.8, 160, time to dump my copy of 114. Yeah, exactly. If it's only 160, then I don't think it took off as much as everybody had hoped. This book did sell for 300 last August when the first rumors broke. So now we've actually seen her in the trailer, and it's only hitting 160 for 9.8. It's got one direction to go, and that's down. Coming in number 3, Larry. First appearance of Dazzler, first full appearance of Sebastian Shaw, second appearance of Katie Pryde and Emma Frost. X-Men number 130, direct sale edition. Now this book is $380 for a 9.6, $1320. It has got for a 9.8 on April 2nd. A 9.4 just sold for $278. A 9.2 just sold for $248. There are going to be a lot of recent sales on this. This also is going to be, the other book is going to be on the list here too. You know why this is selling so high, right? I need to needed to drop so I can buy it back. Okay, this took off in the first place because of all the speculation in about her playing Taylor Swift playing Dazzler in the Deadpool movie. Even if it's just a cameo, people are going to go nuts. Taylor Swift just dropped a new album, and on the last song on the album, at the very end of it, she makes mention about something being dazzling. So everybody's freaking. She's like, she confirmed it. She's Dazzler. She's Dazzler. Really? That's confirmation to you enough to go drop hundreds of dollars on a book. Potentially thousands of dollars on a book. Last October, when this hyped up, it came out, it was selling for $2,100. It's down to $1,300 now for a 9.8. $250 for high grade raws. I'm sorry, even if she does play it, it's going to be a cameo one shot like Hugh Jackman in First Class. Okay. It's going to have like one line, not going to be a major character. It's going to be like, oh, hey, there's Taylor Swift. Huh? Told you she was going to be in the movie. That's it. Okay. You're gonna, if you spend this kind of money on this, you're going to regret this. Oh boy. What am I looking at here? I see pre-release. What is this? Coming out this week. The 1 in 25 facsimile is going to have this cover. Wow. It's actually not a bad cover. And if Taylor Swift ever did sign anything, first off, they'd have to hire the Secret Service away from the president. But that would be a cool book to get signed. Number 2, we got Wolverine. Number 1, of course, Wolverine, Deadpool Wolverine, everything hot. Wolverine's first ongoing solo series. I consider this to be the first series named Wolverine. I understand the other one was the Frank Miller, but that's a limited series. This one was, we don't know when it's going to end, as long as it sells. And it did for quite a while. So we've got 9.9 sold last year for $45.60. Again, no thank you. 9.8, 300 yesterday. 9.6 for 150 yesterday. 9.4, 90 a couple days ago. A lot of copies of this, but it is tougher, in my opinion, on the high grade because of that black cover. Shows everything. I'd still wait till after the movie. I think it'll come down a bit. And then coming in at number 1. Oh my goodness. Would help if I did that, wouldn't it? Oh, geez. Sorry. Number 1. Dazzler. Number 1. Again. She's back. Premiere issue of Dazzler. First self-titled series. There is no newsstand on this. This was the first book that was made available to direct sale comic stores only. There is a printing error and a facsimile. That's it. 9.8's highest known value was earlier this year, $335. Now the highest value is $175. 9.6 for $80. Sorry, I remember how many of these things. No. Agree to disagree. No. Frost Queen would kick her ass. Anyway. White Queen, not Frost Queen. Jeez. Regardless, in a couple months when this movie hits, whether she's in it or not, these prices are coming down. I agree. 175 is still too high because I remember how many copies of this there were. And it was way too many. But there's always been there's always been a hype for Dazzler. When this book first came out, when this book first came out, it cost you more than a 6-year-old Spider-Man 129, first appearance of Punisher. nuts. And honestly, I've never thought the character was all that great. There's too many other characters. She turns sound into light. I get it. We already have somebody that has kind of that power set, and it's Jubilee. You know, being able to manipulate. It's kind of manipulating light a little bit. It is. It's not changing sound into light. We also have Monica Rambeau. Okay, I'm sorry. We have Monica Rambeau that is able to manipulate light. There's just too many characters, so I don't think this character has any future really in the MCU. Okay, so that is our top 20 list. Now I have to make my two picks, my gun to the head and my rubber band to the butt. What do I think is the best value on this list? Not saying it's going to go up in price, but the one that I think will has the best potential to go up or at least decrease in value the least. I would be shooting honestly for a 9.6. Maybe, yeah, 9.6. First appearance of the Shadow King. If I could get one in the 140 range of X-Men number 117. Again, because this is part of the run that it was still not highly printed. It was getting there, but it wasn't what it was going to be in a few years from here. And everybody always wanted to fill these back issues in their collection. So this one, I think that you can't really go too wrong with that time frame. Even if like I said, the Shadow King never comes around or is used, it's still you get the people like me that always wanted to put these runs together, and they're gonna go shopping, and you might have that book for them. Now, what do I think is my rubber band to the worst pick at today's market? Yeah, I think we're going to stick with X-Men and go with the X-Men Deadly Genesis. First appearance of Vulcan, identity unknown, face hidden in shadows. A super highly printed book from 2006 with 9.8 selling for 160. High grade grows for 15. Yeah, I think a 9.8 is a really bad investment on that right now. You want to go for a 9.6 for 50. Okay. Or a high grade raw for 15. I think that's better. I think a lot of people are going to be pulling these out, sending them in for grading, and there's going to be a flood on the market. So I would avoid this book at this time, especially in a 9.8. If you can get one for 10, 15 and a really high grade, you want to send it in, that's not that terrible, but don't go for that graded one. All right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. Hopefully, you guys have a chance to watch the Deadpool second trailer that aired today. I'm going to go watch some breakdowns of it, some Screen Crush, some New Rock Stars, and then a couple of my favorite reaction channels that have already gotten that up. Looking like having some fun. Got a video airing tomorrow, and New Comic Book Day is not going to be on Wednesday this week. It is going to be one day late on Thursday. I apologize, but I have to do what I have to do at work, which means I'm going to miss New Comic Book Day. We'll pick it up on Thursday. And again, our Patreon meetup is going to be on Saturday. Hopefully everybody can make it. And there's no link up there yet. I got to get a link probably through Skype. I want to talk to Greg and see what he thinks would be the best to do. And I'll make sure that it's up there before, probably on Friday. I'll make sure that there's a good link up there. I want to have a link that I can email to our YouTube members to try to get everybody all together. In the meantime, though, I want to thank you so much for joining. Had a lot of fun with this. Don't forget to watch it on the replay so you can click like, drop a comment on that one as well. Just tell your friends, tell them, yell out the window. I'm mad as hell that nobody's watching Timo Hana, and I'm not going to take it anymore. In the meantime, though, until I see you in the next video, which for me, live will be on Wednesday. Mahalo.